Life on the San Francisco Bay Peninsula changed dramatically in the 1940s. With the end of the war came the end of the camps, and the Japanese wanted to come home. They came back to an area that was growing, yet still simple. In 1949, Pastor Omi heard a whisper from God, "Witness to the Japanese in Redwood City." Pastor Omi followed God's instructions, and the beginning of what would eventually grow into today's Peninsula Free Methodist Church was born.
ちょうどその頃、私が結婚のためにヘリーのところに嫁いできておりまして、とてもホームシックでありまして、先生が訪問してくださって家庭集会に来るようにと誘ってくださいました。でそれが今日のペニンスラフリーメソディストチョーチの一番の最初になるということは夢にも思っていませんでした。
The first meeting of these 9 pioneers was held in 1951 at a member's home. In 4 to 5 years, this faithful band grew to 30 people.
A family named Enomoto, who also was in the flower business, graciously allowed us to use an upstairs apartment of that nursery building, and that's where we started our Sunday school.
We had a real good, warm sense of family, and people started to, receive Christ.
In 1964, Pastor Art Copen received a vision from God to change its focus from just Redwood City to the whole peninsula. This was reflected in our church changing its name from the Redwood City Japanese Free Methodist Church to Peninsula Free Methodist Church.
And now I think as a Peninsula Free Methodist Church, we have reached out to other people other than the Japanese speaking group or the Niseis, which is our age group that we were ministering to at first.
In 1975, we arrived at our current location. Pastor Dan Shinoda would later reflect that faith in God, faith in the people, and faith in the Word helped to carry out this vision. Pastor Dave Hino led both the English and Nichigo ministries at our church from 1985 to 2000. Eventually, Pastor Umakita came to our church as its second full-time Nichigo pastor and served from 1990 until his death from cancer in 1999.
ちょうど私たちの教会が18年間日本語の牧師先生がいらっしゃらなかったから初めて梅北先生をフルタイムの牧師先生としてお迎えしたから羊を飼ってくださる牧師先生っていうことでちょっとこう頼れるっていう感じかな。でまた信と訓練をしていただけるチャンスがあったから本当に安心感がありました。
Pastor Hino, through prayer, realized that God wanted the church to grow into one where His presence, purity, purpose, and power were manifested. God answered these prayers by providing Peninsula Free Methodist Church with its greatest period of growth in both spirit and numbers.
In the beginning, it was small to the extent of if you weren't in service, people missed you. As the church grows, it's a good thing because you want more people. You want people to come to Christ. It shows that we're reaching out to the community.
We moved into our newly remodeled building in 2000. While being careful not to forget what the past has taught us in terms of faith, vision, and prayer, the new building has also inspired new ideas of how our church can serve the Lord as technology has turned the peninsula into one of the largest metropolitan areas of the world. In turn, this is also an area of great opportunity to share God's Word. Currently, our Japanese congregation has centered its efforts on reaching out to the Japanese-speaking community. One group that does thrive in the chaos of today's world is our youth. Our joint youth group is a vibrant one that is unique in that there is a good balance in numbers between the Japanese and English youth.
I think it's really cool that the youth group is both English and Japanese. Because the youth spend Fridays together, I just feel like the connection between the two congregations in the youth group are helping bring the actual two congregations closer together.
Our English congregation has been reaching out as well. For instance, recently we have been equipping and sending people to New Orleans and Mexico to build homes.
Well, we've seen tremendous amount of interest in taking our faith from thinking to actually doing things in the world. There is a desire to move out of the church building, out of the confines of church programming, and wanting to make our faith real.
Remembering the past and looking forward into the future, Peninsula Free Methodist Church's story is one of generations building on the learnings and teachings of previous generations. Without each of these elements happening according to His great plan, the history of our church would be totally different today. In the future, whether we are building healthy communities or outreaching to the peninsula and beyond, God has shown us that when we listen, He can do fantastic things through faith, following His vision and prayer.